Alright, considering what's been going on these past couple of years, I think it's important we talk about a certain someone that I believe needs no introduction. Yep, we're making a video on the Guru. Now, why am I making a video on the MMA Guru here? Well, it's my true belief. He has, he's read the script. He's part of the program. You know what I mean? He's cleansing fighters, correcting the timeline, if you want to say. Now, when I say he's correcting the timeline here, and he's cleansing these fighters, we need to look at how he's cleansing these fighters. And if you notice a pattern with all the fighters that are sort of beating the odds, some would say, every single one of them goes on an interview with the Guru. Now, there are a few exceptions we'll get into, but overall, Guru so far has an over 90% win rate when you go on his podcast. So let it just be known that if you show up on the Guru's podcast, you're guaranteed to win your next fight, pretty much, basically. Alright? Now, the first person I want to talk about, I don't think is going to be any surprise if you follow the Pig Lord himself, the Guru, Dricus Du Plessis. Now, why am I bringing Dricus Du Plessis up? Correcting the timeline against Israel Adesanya, and he even robbed Sean Strickland. Okay, it wasn't a robbery, but, I think the Guru's cleanse allowed Dricus Du Plessis to get past Sean Strickland. Let's be honest, Dricus Du Plessis didn't show up at that interview. I think it would be a different story. We'd be looking at Sean Strickland as the current champion right now. That's truly what I believe. Because if Guru wasn't there, Dricus Du Plessis wouldn't have gotten the secret sauce, the game plan locked down from the Guru. And, Dricus would have ended up losing that decision. But, thankfully, through the Guru's blessing, he was able to give the secret sauce to Dricus Du Plessis. And, no, that sauce isn't mayo. I know he keeps it by his desk, although it could be. Someone's got to investigate that. But, the first interview Dricus Du Plessis had was after the Robert Whittaker fight. Now, this defies all odds. If you were around during the time of Robert Whittaker versus Dricus Du Plessis, you were on Robert Whittaker's side. Don't lie. I know you were on Robert Whittaker's side. No one was not on Robert Whittaker's side. Not even Africans were on Dricus Du Plessis' side. Obviously, Dricus Du Plessis, he's the true African king. That's the only reason why I bring up Africans. But everyone was on Robert Whittaker's side. He's just too elite, And if you take a look at Dricus Du Plessis' record here, he's lost by finish before, And this was, I believe, a 3-round fight. If we look at the first loss he ever had, granted it was 10 years ago, 8 years, I believe, at the Whittaker fight. 9 years at the Whittaker fight. But he lost by submission, alright? And you might be thinking, well, Robert Whittaker's not known for his submissions, but one thing Robert Whittaker is known for is the hands he carries. And he lost by KO. So the only thing he's missing here is a decision lost. But as you know, Dricus Du Plessis, this man doesn't really go to decisions. He finishes fights, Pretty much the only recent, I believe the only decision he has in the UFC is actually with Sean Strickland, and that's just because Sean Strickland is a tough matchup for a lot of different fighters. Now, forgot about the Brad Tavares, my bad. Brad Tavares, at this time, was just like a different level of chin. A little different, we can ignore that part. Moving on, though. Yeah, like, he beat Darren Till, which is whatever, and Guru also didn't like him at the time during this Darren Till fight, alright? Some choice words Guru had for him during that time, but over the course of time, Guru learned how to make this secret concoction, and he ended up giving it to Dricus Du Plessis as an experiment in South Africa. Now, upon the visit that Guru had with the interview, Dricus Du Plessis ended up beating Sean Strickland in a world title fight via one of the closest decisions you'll ever see in UFC history. To this day, I still think Sean Strickland wins, but I'm okay with the decision. Dricus du Plessis wins just because of how close that fight was. Then after that, everyone's thinking, oh, well, now he's fighting Israel Adesanya, the guy who didn't deserve a title shot. Well, Izzy's going to show up with a boob, and he's going to get a knockout. And we know Dricus du Plessis doesn't have great cardio, even though he just went 5 rounds with Sean Strickland. But that was the whole narrative around Dricus du Plessis. And an important thing to mention, he was an underdog in the Sean Strickland fight. I know it flipped, but we can call it an underdog. At some point, he was plus money. And the same thing for Israel Adesanya. Now, he absolutely beat the living shit out of Israel Adesanya. Listen, I know if you watch it back and you see the clips from YouTube Shorts, you'll be like, oh, Dricus du Plessis was getting tagged in that fight. Promise you, if you go back, I mean, it's almost definitive 3-1 Dricus. Just saying it. Now, obviously, he got a finish, didn't even need the judges' scorecards, and Dricus naturally just looks like he's always tired. But he was only able to beat Israel Adesanya once he showed up for an interview with the MMA Guru. Now, I believe Dricus du Plessis probably would have done it without the help of a MMA Guru, but I think the MMA Guru secured his odds. 100% chance, finish, submitted Israel Adesanya. I believe one of the only people to ever submit Israel Adesanya. Giga Chad, alright? Still knocks, still around, baby. Now, moving on to the next one, which I'm sure you all know. Renato Money Moicano, baby. Now, why am I bringing up... Wow, that's a really... Is that really what his last name is spelt like? That's insane. Anyways, now, Renato Moicano, I know everyone's like, oh, well, this just happened. Well, no, actually. If you're unaware, UFC 300, there was a certain lengthy tarantula named Jalen Turner. Now, when you see this fight, and everyone saw this matchup, everyone's thinking, this is the end of the road for Renato Moicano. Money Moik, he's not getting it done. Jalen Turner just hits too hard. Renato just doesn't have a great chin. And you know what? You were probably right during this time. Everyone thought the exact same way. That's why Money Moicano was an underdog in the Jalen Turner matchup. Now, of course, Renato, the businessman himself, is very smart, you know, very educated. But he was coming off a not very impressive win to Drew Dober. Now, we can see he can grapple, but he wasn't able to take great shots. His face was pretty cut up. If you see his face, it was pretty fucked. Now, when you ask, okay, well, Jalen Turner, well, he hits a little harder than Drew Dober. Well, he is longer than Drew Dober, so it's likely he's going to get the range going. You know, we're looking at a pretty bad matchup for Money Moik. And even to this day, it's still probably a bad matchup for Money Moik. But this is when Renato partnered up with the Guru. And around this time during UFC 300, they had a little interview. And, of course, off camera, Guru gave Renato the secret sauce. And as we all know, that's why he was able to beat Jalen Turner. You know? Guru at it again, cleansing another fighter who's an underdog. He's 3 for 3 at this point, if you're keeping count. Now, absolutely obliterates Jalen Turner in that second round. We can ignore the first round. We all know Jalen Turner. You know, he jumped the gun a little too early. He didn't wanna finish the fight. It is pretty pussy of him to be like, oh, I didn't want to continue because of PTSD from knocking out Bobby Green. Bullshit, alright? He just wanted a sick walk-off KO. You ain't doing it to Money Moik, alright? Not on UFC 300. Not in his house, alright? And then Money Moik proceeds to get a TKO finish on Jalen Turner here. Now, it's pretty impressive considering I don't think anyone's betting Money Moicano by striking finish, alright? If you're a betting, gambling, you know, degenerate, just saying, you're probably going by submission. No one's gonna blame you. Money Moicano's got great ground game. Showcased it in Drew Dober's fight. Showcased it in Brad Riddell when he got that submission. Showcased it against Alexander Hernandez. Showcased it against Jai Herbert. Everyone, you'd be betting, okay, well, if he gets to the ground, then he's gonna submit him. Shocks the world with the TKO over Jalen Turner. Absolutely dominant grappling. Now, you might be aware of the recent one, Benoit Saint-Denis. I personally still think Benoit Saint-Denis is top level. So what does that mean? That means Guru was able to elevate Money Moicano past the top 15 fucking Jalen Turners of the division. And he was able to give Money Moicano the script, or perhaps the secret mayo sauce that he's got cooked up next to his desk. And he gave it to gave it to Money Moicano once again to do what he did to Benoit Saint-Denis. If you haven't seen Benoit Saint-Denis' face, pretty sure I can't even show it because it was that fucked up. Money Moicano easily dominated. I'd even give it a 10-7. And you know what? I even picked Benoit Saint-Denis, and I'm saying that, alright? I'm the least biased I can be here, alright? But Money Moicano shocks the world. When we're looking at a grappling situation, well, Benoit Saint-Denis did pretty well against Dustin Poirier. You know, Dustin Poirier, not craziest ground game submission artist type of person, but we've seen Benoit do fairly well at stopping the grappling of certain fighters. Matt Frivola is a good example, a few others, and I know those have aged poorly by now, but at the point of before this fight, almost everyone's picking Benoit Saint-Denis. I believe the Guru was the only picks and prediction artist I saw even on the internet picking Renato Moicano. If you weren't Brazilian, you were picking Benoit Saint-Denis, and we all know why. And there's no shame, alright? Even I picked Benoit Saint-Denis, alright? But thanks to the Guru's cleansing and that secret sauce that he's got cooked up by his desk, he worked with Moicano, and he got it done. He had a great game plan. Go into the first round, beat the living shit out of him, take the backseat in round 2. Just swell up his face. And not only did Money Moicano did this to Benoit Saint-Denis in the first round, he did it to him with one arm, alright? His other shoulder was dislocated. If you saw the x-rays, it literally looked like his collarbone was missing, alright? Absolutely insane performance. Probably the strongest sauce we've ever seen. Thank you to the Guru, pretty much. And Money Moicano is able to showcase what real grappling looks like. We got boring fighters like Umar Nurmagomedov. Wow, you took a brand new guy who just got to the UFC and you took him down for 3 rounds. Wow, bro. Crazy. Oh, you have Merab Dvalishvili, fails 50 takedowns and continues to hug in a 5-round fight. Wow. Oh, was that another knee to the thigh? Wow, entertaining are we? Not with Money Moik. Money Moik, I don't know what Guru did, but he's been popping off with these TKOs. At this point, I'm even taking Renato Moicano to beat Islam Makhachev himself by KO. Alright, that's what I'm picking. Anyways, moving on to the third and final example we have of the cleansing. As we know, Guru also went into interviews. That's the whole connection here for these KOs. Some of the only KOs that Money Moik actually has on his record. Are those the only KOs he has on his record? Oh my lord. Guru just knows. Guru just knows, bro. This is the only time Money Moik has ever had a KO. And he gets it back to back after doing interviews with MMA Guru. Need I say more about that secret sauce? Anyways, moving on to the third one. Paddy the Baddy. Now, I know a lot of people don't like him. I don't even like him that much, to be fair with you. However, I think it's fair that we all admit no one was expecting him to beat Bobby Green. Tony Ferguson is a whatever free fight. No one was expecting him to beat Bobby Green. And now I know what you're saying here, and I know you're gonna be clicking on the keyboards. I picked him, I won money, right? I understand that. But when I mean no one, I mean that's the overwhelming majority. Paddy Pimblett, I also believe, was a underdog in this fight. I could be wrong on that one. However, so far, 100% win rate on underdogs here, you know? Little insane, just saying, you know, because that's 4 times he basically perfectly picked an underdog, and hasn't lost once. And then we got Paddy Pimblett. I can't remember exactly, but we'll just say it's not an underdog for this one. However, it was definitely close to a pick'em. Bobby Green getting submitted the first time in 10 years. And that's by Paddy the Baddy. Now, the only reason why I believe this happened is because of that interview. Another example of the Guru just giving a secret sauce. You know? He's got something in that mayo jar, I'm telling you. Alright? But, yeah. Before this fight, we're looking at like a 29-28 against Tony Ferguson in 2023. Not looking too hot, you know? We're looking at a clear loss to Jared Cannonier, you know? We're looking at a good win against Jordan Levitt. You know what I mean? No one thinks Paddy had skill at this point. Everyone thought Paddy Pimblett, he's washed. He's gonna get knocked out. He's gonna get exposed for having shit striking. And what does he do? He ends up getting a first round submission on Bobby Green. No doubt the highest level of competition that Paddy Pimblett has faced. Now, I know what you're saying. It's very easy to pick prospects at this point. However, my counter argument, Paddy Pimblett isn't a flawless prospect here. It's not like Paddy Pimblett is like 20-0. This guy has losses on his record. He's beatable. People have beaten him. And arguably, this Jared Gordon loss or win should be overturned to a loss. Clearly. Alright? But it's a little insane that when Paddy Pimblett is given his toughest test, he looks absolutely unbeatable on that night. Just saying. And it's all thanks to that interview that the Guru gave him. Now, some important things we need to mention here. There's actually one other fight that I need to mention, and this is just competition outside the UFC. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Well, he hasn't done an interview with someone outside the UFC. But, or I should say a fighter outside the UFC. But this is when he got interviewed, you know? And that person is Demetrious fucking Johnson. One of the GOATs, my personal pick for MMA greatest of all time. Now, why am I bringing DJ up in an MMA Guru video? Well, good sir asking the question. Once DJ had an interview with the MMA Guru, DJ decided to compete in a BJJ tournament where a 6'3", 250-pound man, shout out to Mighty Mouse's channel if you haven't seen his channel, he is one of the GOATs in gaming, in the UFC, in fucking One Championship, and now in BJJ, alright, just saying that. Definitely my pick for greatest of all time, I mean that seriously. Anyways, yeah, go check out his channel, it's Mighty, it's the only one with 758,000 plus subscribers, you'll know when you see it. Alright, let me just... Oh, it's not even in frame. Fuck. Alright, hold up here. There you go. Mighty. Anyways. Back to the point of the video here. Now, it's my belief, man, that once the Guru gives you that interview, you know, you get to interview the Guru, he shares that secret sauce with you, and it just allows you to defy all odds, you know? When we're looking at the Bradley Martins saying they're 260, walking around puffing their chests up, Mighty Mouse goes against a purple belt. Now, I know it's not a black belt, but if you're in jiu-jitsu, you do know that purple belts are still dangerous, and jiu-jitsu is still jiu-jitsu. Okay, we're not going to go into the jiu-jitsu discussion here, but let's just say Mighty Mouse, severe disadvantage being his stature, severe disadvantage being bare minimum 100 pounds lighter than his opponent. And he was able to manhandle him and absolutely dominate him throughout this entire session. Okay, not absolutely dominates him, but he gets this nice toss. Gets tossed around a little bit, of course, but he easily gets the back. Starts sinking in a submission. Just a great, fantastic showcase of grappling in this match. I was going to say fight. It's not really a fight. It's more of a match, you know? Gets the back. Just look at that transition. Transition style armbar, gets the tap. And this is all because of that interview. I'm telling you, man, there's something that Guru has that he's sharing with these fighters. You know? Now, sometimes it is a miss. It is unfortunate. Sometimes we get people who interview the Guru. His ratio of when people interview him to him interviewing is a little in the negative here. But I just wanted to showcase that when Guru wants to, he definitely gives the GOATs his respect when it comes to the secret sauce. Now, where this doesn't come into effect is someone like Sugar Sean O'Malley. I know it was technically Tim Welsh doing the interviewing, but we all saw, unfortunately, O'Malley was stricken with a curse that night, and the judges decided to turn their brain off during rounds 1, 3, and 5, and they just looked at the scorecards and decided to put one down for O'Malley. Is pretty much how that fight went. But the other one, unfortunate, so a little lesser known, but you may know him if you're a hardcore fan. Cameron Saaiman. Now, this was an unfortunate cause. This might be when he first tested his secret sauce, and he wasn't too sure if it was good enough. But Cameron Saaiman recently had his 0 removed thanks to a certain Talbot. Now, unfortunately, Guru just didn't have what Cameron needed this night, you know? But I believe that if Cameron Saaiman gets another interview by the Guru, this time where Guru does the interview, hey, we might see a title run here at, I believe it's bantamweight is where Cameron Saaiman, bantamweight, flyweight, I can't fucking remember. But it's bantamweight, I'm pretty sure, right? It's either bantamweight or flyweight. I can't remember, alright? A lot of fights, okay? But basically, a little bit of voice crack there. Basically, my whole point is, when Guru is interviewed, not guaranteed success, okay? But when he does the interviewing, oh, well, let me tell you something. You beat every odd, especially if you're an underdog. This might change if he starts interviewing favorites, who knows? But I think it's safe to say that Guru does have the secret sauce. Now, there's a few exceptions, or caveats, I might say. If Guru has a plan to do an interview with you, and for whatever reason it doesn't come to fruition, your future's looking a little grim, just saying. You might end up like Jamal Hill. There was an interview planned before the Alex Pereira fight. Fortunately, it fell out. Maybe Guru just didn't sense the apprenticeship material from Jamal Hill, so he didn't feel safe giving out the secrets. But whatever the case may be, Jamal Hill ended up losing a fight during a championship belt on UFC 300. It sucks to see, but you always love to see Alex Pereira win. But moving on from that, we also have another fighter who... Listen, Darren Till could be going on a win streak here, alright? Recently, there was an interview with Darren Till, MMA Guru, and all I'm saying is, we gotta look out for Darren Till here. This guy might go on a run. He might be knocking out people left and right. He might get that Jake Paul fight and make him look like a pussy-ass bitch in there. That's all I'm saying, alright? But we just need to keep our eyes out for Darren Till. Still 31 years young. Is that true? I thought he was like 35. Damn, he could actually still make a run. But regardless, Darren Till, he's got the opportunity here, you know? Guru shared some secrets, obviously, in that interview. Darren Till is looking for a comeback, and let me tell you, we got to keep our eye on this. This will be the true test, because so far we're looking at a 100% win rate from the Guru. You know, Darren Till, maybe it's the ACL that's just too damaged in order for the cleanse to work, but definitely seems like Guru's got something cooked up in his little mayo jar. But with all that being said, just wanted to point out some blessings that the Guru's been given off ever since he started doing his interviews. And it's very clear to me that if you want to win your next fight and you're concerned with those odds because you are the underdog, so maybe you're seeing something that no one else is, I think it's time to hit up the Guru. Alright? Try to get that interview. Because if you don't, you might just end up like Jamal Hill. No one wants to end up with the guy who loses his belt after coming back from an Achilles tear. And then he also pulls out with a fight with Khalil Roundtree to give Khalil Roundtree the title shot. You never want to be that guy, you know? Basically the cuck version of an MMA fighter, you know? Still rooting for Jamal Hill. I still like the guy. I've got nothing against Jamal Hill. You know, I'm hoping he actually does do a comeback, but man, does he need that interview. That's all I'm saying. But with all that being said, Shout out to MMA Guru. That needs no saying, I think. MMA Guru, without a doubt, is probably the biggest MMA media person to watch outside of people who cover news. But yeah, pretty much all I wanted to say. Get across the cleansing that Guru's been doing. So with all that being said, I want to thank you for watching and making it to the end of the video. And as always, I hope you have a good day.